Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about the one thing that nobody wants to talk about: skin
Oh
infections. Um,
no.
so so I've stumbled upon this great video that Lachlan Giles made about staph infections. This goes for all skin infections: ringworm, MRSA, Botego, any type of skin infections you can stumble upon at the gym. These are kind of like the same protocols, preventions, what you should be doing if you do get a skin infection or if you see something. Um, I am no doctor, so if you do get a skin infection, make sure that you go see a specialist, a dermatologist. Try not to walk into one of those city MDs or walk-in clinics. Usually they have no idea what they're looking at. They'll prescribe you something, and then you'll continue to train, and you'll keep getting it. So make sure that you go see a specialist, a dermatologist. Okay, so I'm going to start this video. It's a pretty short video on skin infections and how to prevent it and being aware and being vigilant when you do have a skin infection, what you should be doing. So let's just take a look at this video. I'll freeze it every now and then and kind of go over my personal experiences.
Topic: staph infections or skin infections in combat sport. So basically you have bacteria that live on your skin. Sometimes they can get into cuts and cause an infection. Unfortunately, these infections are often contagious and can become a real problem if you train with them. So go through one of the major ones: a staph infection, what it is, how you can try to recognize it, and what you should do about it. All right, so how to recognize a staph infection. This is probably the most difficult part, because this is probably why it becomes a problem. People don't know they've got a staph infection and they come in and train because they might not be aware of what it actually looks like, right?
Okay, so just to freeze that real quick, um, you don't know what you don't know. So if you've never had a staph infection before, you're not going to know what a staph infection is. Okay. So for example, for me, when I was a purple belt, I was training. I remember the exact day I was training in a no-gi class. I had a pimple on my knee. During the class, I popped that pimple, and I continued to train. So I didn't take care of it. I didn't clean it, didn't throw any alcohol in it. I just popped it, continued to train. Um, Instantly, almost probably the next day, I had this burning sensation in my knee. And again, that pimple was there, but I didn't know. So I had this burning sensation in my knee. A day later, it filled up with fluid. I went to the doctor and they told me it was bursitis. So they said I must have banged my knee training, injured it in moving around, something like that. So they kind of just told me put ice on it and it'll be okay. A day later, that same pimple opened up and like started oozing everywhere, which I thought was really weird for bursitis. So I went to go see a dermatologist. They cultured it. It ended up being staph, or actually ended up being MRSA, which is staph, but it's just resistant to certain medicines. So they have to make a special medicine for it. But I didn't know, so I had no idea what it was. So I went to the doctor again. They told me it was bursitis, but it ended up being staph. So at that point, I learned the hard way. And again, you don't know what you don't know. So if you do see something on somebody, make sure you let them know, because they probably don't know where it is. Most guys don't know what staph is. Okay, so let's continue with this video.
It usually presents, usually there's different ways it might present. Usually it looks like a pimple, or could be a little scratch or something. But there's just something a little bit different about it. Okay, so it could be painful, could be in an area you don't normally get it. It could be itchy sometimes, or there could be like multiple little ones. And probably the main thing here we want you to do is, if you notice something different to normal on your skin that looks a bit red, then we don't want you to train. We want you to go and get it checked by a doctor, because if you do train, then there's a good chance you spread this and cause issues. And also, the longer you wait to get this treated, the more serious it becomes, right? So it's usually not too serious of a condition if you're onto it very early. If you let a staph infection become bad and it swells.
So that's a great point. The earlier you start treatment, the better it is. So as soon as you see something on your skin, get it checked out right away. Don't wait a day. Don't wait 2 days. Don't wait 3 days. Don't think it's going to be okay and you can just continue to train. Um, as soon as you see something, go to the doctors and knock it out right away. It's the way it is. We're in a contact sport. We're sweating. We're wrestling on top of each other. At some point, you're going to get some kind of skin infection. I've been training since 2005, 2006. I've gotten staph once, and again, I didn't know what it was, so I didn't take care of it right away. And I've gotten ringworm probably 3 times, and that was all on me. I wasn't being vigilant. I wasn't taking showers after training. As soon as I got done training, I would wait a little bit. So if you take these easy steps of just your basic hygiene after you train, washing your hands, washing your face, taking a quick shower, then you don't have to worry about any of this. But this is more of being aware of what's going on and stopping the spread if you do get ringworm or some kind of skin infection. All right, so let's continue with this video.
Up and become a boil, that starts getting a bit more serious. So you want to make sure you get onto these things and address them very early. And most importantly, don't train because they are contagious. So I'm not really going to go into like treatments because you should speak to your doctor about how to treat staph. But basically, it needs to be like fully gotten rid of before you go back to training. So you want doctor's clearance before you get back to training. What you should do to avoid getting skin infections, one.
Okay, just real quick with that. If you do get ringworm or some kind of skin infection, just because you go to the doctor and you're on the medicine for a day or two, that's not good enough. You have to make sure that thing is fully gone. It should not be on your skin anymore. It should be fully eradicated off of your skin. In my personal experience, I've seen guys, because it colonizes on your skin. So I've seen guys that think they've got rid of it because they put the medicine on for a couple of days and they get back to training. All of a sudden, it's back in the same spot. It has to be fully gone and fully knocked off your skin before you get back to training. All right, let's hit this again.
Just be on the lookout and get onto it early. If you see something that looks a bit suspicious on your training partner, have a chat to them because they might not know what staph is. And ideally, we're kind of stopping the spread. That's the best way to avoid it. Okay. Otherwise, you got to keep.
Yeah. So guys, if you see something on your training partners, let them know. It is an awkward conversation, but be sure to let them know that they got something on their skin. They might not notice. They might not know what it is, but please let them know. And if you feel uncomfortable talking to them about it, let me know. Let me know, and I'll have the conversation. You're not a rat. You're not a snitch. It's just something that we have to do to stop the spread if we do get some kind of skin infection.
Keep yourself as clean as possible. You should always wash your training gear on hot. You should be showering immediately after training. It's reasonably common for a staph infection to be recurrent because once you've had it, it'll live on your skin. You might need to do a decolonization protocol to get it out of your system, which you can speak to your doctor about. So in summary, the most important thing is just be aware of what's going on. If you notice anything that's a bit different, especially like redness or something that looks like a pimple, if you've been told it's a spider bite, it's probably not a spider bite. It's probably.
Oh my dear, the spider bite thing. How many times I've heard that before? Guys, if your doctor tells you it's a spider bite, then go see another doctor. It's not a spider bite. How many times have you got bitten by a spider in your lifetime? I'm 35 years old. I've never got bitten by a spider. Think about it. We would have a million Spider-Men running around if how many times I heard this excuse. It's not a spider bite. If you have something that looks like a spider bite, it's probably staph. We don't live in a jungle. I've never got bitten by a spider. So I've heard that a lot in my lifetime of jiu-jitsu. So it's not a spider bite. Go see your doctor. Cut it out, weirdos.
Staph if you're training combat sports. Okay, so we want you to not train, go see a doctor, or at the very least speak to your coach before training, so at least they can kind of assess the situation and see if it's right to continue.
Okay, that was a great video by Lachlan. Talking about something that most people don't want to talk about, which is super important, how to address skin infections. So just a quick recap of prevention. Make sure you're washing your gear after class with the correct soap. Make sure you're taking showers right after class, again, with the correct soaps. Wash your hands after you train, cut your nails. If you see something on your skin, make sure that you take care of it right away. If you see something on your training partner's skin, make sure that you tell them and let them know, or you let one of the instructors know. So just great video by Lachlan. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the link to the full video. It's a quick video, 3 or 4 minute video at the bottom of the descriptions so that you guys can take a look. And that's it. All right. So thanks for listening. Just check out that video one more time, just so you can have a full grasp of what to do if you do get a skin infection or how to prevent those skin infections. Later.